Hello, everyone. I am so excited for this episode of Plug Into Devin. Today we have with us Doug Owens. He's a Utah attorney. He's been practicing here for 25 years and or more. An amazing guy, founder of the nonprofit Utah Outdoor Partners, and now a candidate for Utah's House District 36, the seat currently held by Patrice Arend. You don't want to miss this episode. Stick around. Doug, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, Devin. Thank you for having me on.
Well, we're thrilled to have you. It's an honor. It truly is an honor. Uh, Doug, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I'd like to talk about conservation if we only have a few minutes. That's a big, important issue to me.
It is an important topic, and it's so important for Utah's economy. What are the issues that you see? I mean, you've been working at this issue for a long time.
I have been working it for a long time. I certainly had a dad who was very concerned about the issue. Wayne Owens proposed the Red Rock Wilderness Bill many years ago that's still kicking around in Congress. I'm frustrated as I look back at our history now as a state where the dialogue between environmentalists, conservationists on the one hand, business interests, and the dominant majority party in our state have come to loggerheads. It's been mixed up with federal versus state rights. There's lots of venom running around on the issue that really doesn't need to be there. So my approach to it has become a little bit different. I started this nonprofit, Utah Outdoor Partners, with the idea of demonstrating to everybody that, hey, outdoor recreation, if we make the dominant value of our public lands outdoor recreation, we're really going to do a way better job helping the economy in Utah than everybody expects. So it's trying to get people to see, get their heads together, come together to make good policy, recognizing economic realities that people that have been lost in the shuffle, the ideological back and forth over conservation issues in the states, trying to bring a new perspective to the issue. And just to give you one example of that, for Devin, if you look down at San Juan County, that's the site where Bears Ears Monument was designated by President Obama and shrunk by President Trump. People will be fighting over those boundaries for a long time, and the pros and cons of the monument for a long time. But I think everybody could agree on the notion that this could be a visitation builder for San Juan County. This could attract recreation in San Juan County. And San Juan County stands to benefit economically from the creation of that monument, regardless of where the boundaries are. So we ought to be looking at things like building a world-class visitor center. There's one tiny little volunteer visitor center put up by a group down in Blanding. It's not a big government visitor center like you have at a national park, and it ought to be on that scale. It is that kind of a landscape. It ought to have interpretive. Pardon?
Absolutely, yes, it is. Yeah. It's an amazing place.
It ought to have interpretive information for people to come down and learn about the Native American values that have been lived there for hundreds and hundreds of years. And so it could be really cool. It could be a first-class thing, and everybody can agree on that. We don't have to decide what the boundaries are. So let's get moving on stuff we agree on like that are going to help the economy, and I think it will help us resolve the issues that have been ideologically dividing us for a long time.
I think that's a great example of a way to move forward. There is this interesting tension sometimes, it seems, but it seems artificial too, between those who would call themselves conservationists first and those who would think of themselves as recreationalists, when in fact most conservationists want to be out recreating on the public land. So they really are more aligned than they might seem at first blush, right?
Yeah, I think so. And, one thing that's important to realize is our population is going to double in about 30 years. The estimates vary, but it's growing rapidly, and it's going to be about 30 years, give or take a few years. And we're not doing what we need to keep pace with population growth. Everybody loves, those of us who live here, we know this is the most beautiful of the 50 states. And we like to get out. And anymore, I live near Millcreek Canyon. If you're not up there by 7:30 in the morning on a summer Saturday, you can't even find a parking spot. And we've all taken our kids to Zion, where we grew up, and have a heritage of visitation there. And it's so crowded now. We need to be, and we have the assets to put trails on, to create parks, to invite visitors and spread out that visitation, so we keep the same number of miles per trail per person, the same number of campgrounds per person. There's trails with it need pit toilets. We can all, I think, agree that those kind of assets, they have very little impact on the environment over time. And we've got
they can protect the environment, because the tendency will be to abuse if we're not putting some of that infrastructure in place, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think lots of Utahns have had the experience of going hiking and not finding a pit toilet where there ought to be one. At least I'm that guy.
Yeah.
So there's a professor up at Utah State who's doing some interesting work trying to figure out where people are recreating, and there's not the infrastructure. They're breaking trails. They need campgrounds and pit toilets. That's going on in the state. Some of our neighboring states do a better job of that. Let's figure out where people are already recreating and could use, so they're not breaking their own trails or roads, and let's accommodate people.
Oh, that's a great model. Doug, you've been working in Utah to make Utah a better place for a long time, and you've accomplished a lot. What is your superpower?
Well, I don't know. I think other people are smarter than me. Other people have bigger talents than I do. I kind of plod along and work hard. I try to stick to an issue, and I guess I have a little imagination too on this issue of conservation and recreation coming together to build the economy. And so I think I can bring that imagination to bear and work hard to bring it about. Maybe I throw one more idea at you that we're working on with this outdoor rec idea. It's way bigger than people really understand. People know, okay, oh yeah, tourism, that's about 10% of the Utah economy. Well, really, recreation access underpins much bigger parts of the economy than people give it credit for. It underpins construction, for example. Now, 50% of the housing in Kane County, Utah, is vacation housing because of the proximity of the monument, 50%. So outdoor rec can drive a construction job. And here, the other example, we're doing a study right now with the Kim Gardner Institute showing that why the tech sector in Utah is doing so well, 1 in 7 jobs. And we think that study is going to show that the tech sector really is here because of the recreation potential. It's the thing that differentiates the Wasatch Front from many other communities around the country where they have a vibrant tech sector. So
no, that's a huge point. Well, Doug, before you go, and thank you so much for coming, tell us how people can learn more about your campaign and how people can connect with you personally.
Hop on my website, DougOwensUtah.com.
Fantastic. Well, Doug, thank you very much for being with us today. We wish you every success in helping to conserve Utah's precious resources, outdoor resources for future generations.
Thanks, Devin. Glad to be here.
All righty. Let's be bold together.
All right.
I'm Devin Thorpe. For the last 8 years, I've been working full-time to eradicate extreme poverty, improve global health, and fight climate change. I've concluded that the best way for me to continue my work is to run for Congress to represent the people of Utah's 3rd District. In Utah, we have common shared values. Those things unite us. I believe passionately in our ability to come together, and I believe that working together, we can solve Utah's problems. I'm Devin Thorpe. I'm a Democrat. I'm running to represent the people of Utah's 3rd District. I'm Devin Thorpe, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.